anytime I hold the figure, his neck is just going.
Oh God. Yeah,
It's,
that's like the variable action heroes, Luffy.
it feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
I want to win more and more and more.
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Power Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19, and no champ animation today because my man's dealing with stuff. He's in the everyone just send best wishes over to champs right now. He's in the hospital being sick with something, not exactly sure what it is, but it's not a serious thing, but it's like he's expected to like it's just we don't have a lot of details on it. But anyways, today on this video, I'm very excited.
He'll be fine, but
Yeah, he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. But like today, on this video, we're going to be talking about, like in no particular order, like some of the most requested figures, Dragon Ball figures that that people have been wanting Tamashii Nations to go ahead and make and such. And
these are characters I got from like Tamashii Nation's Instagram of what people are commenting, and it's just some of them are just common sense characters too that people always ask for that I see on my YouTube channel. Same with Starblast. So yeah, continue, sir. I didn't mean to chop you off there.
No. You're fine. If anything, I was about to actually ask you. Maybe you should go over the first figure and such. I'm done talking. It's let the man go.
Yeah, so for I always see these and a lot of people want these updated, and that's Android 16, 17, and 18. Yeah, we've gotten repaints and the San Diego Comic-Con repaints, but they all need some updates, especially 16. He needs to be a bit bigger. And then we got the super versions of Android 17 and 18, but I'm specifically talking about the Z versions of all of them. I mean, Android 16 is only in Z, but it would be nice to get all updated versions of them and a taller Android 16. So, the next one here is for you, Starblast.
Okay, yeah, sure. Me personally, and such regarding the androids, I don't I'm not really as in much in need because like they're definitely following more 2.0 style, but they've done the mold,
Yeah.
they've done the original mold like so well, it doesn't put them as much of an as in demand. I know for you in particular, Android 16 is like your favorite character,
Yeah,
or
he's
like one of your
probably
favorite
really
characters.
the
In
main one, but I still see people requesting for all of them to get updated.
I
So,
do think that 16 is one of those characters that even if they weren't to make another mold of him, they can definitely
yeah.
make like an updated one with more accessories. Because the event
Yeah.
exclusive one, like
Oh,
it,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like the only reason why they re-released him in such a way like that with the event exclusive was just because like he wasn't really one that was as much in demand. It's like they were like, all right, you know what, we did this one just right because in terms of
Yeah.
mechanics and such, I'm not really certain how they would really fix it all, like fix them all, make him that much different. Since when it comes to the knee
Yeah.
joints and such, right? So
Yeah.
like say for example with this Goku figure here, or like with Vegeta, the knee joints are always typically the same and such with these types of things. Whereas with baggy pants, that's usually where you see the figures and such with different moldings. I think it definitely does suffer a little bit from that sort of
Yeah.
1.0 sort of syndrome with the drop down legs and such, and that can definitely be improved. But otherwise,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would just have this updated articulation
yeah,
3.0.
mostly the legs, and definitely it's like he's one of those characters that I think does need some more blast effects. It's like
Yeah, that's
they
something he was lacking on. And the bird
and a bird, sure, you could do that. I think that's really what you want, like what people would want
or
the most off of an
squirrels.
Android 16. It's just
The
because
blast
like
effects, yeah.
yeah, blast effects is really it. Honestly, it's like the main figure is really really holds up. It just needs more accessories, really. Honestly,
Yeah,
if
and a
that's
lot of
really all
people
you
did want him taller too. I think that was another big thing people had with him is he wasn't tall enough. I mean, he is pretty tall,
actually, I
but
thought of
yeah, they could
something
make him a little taller.
I actually thought of something I could possibly do for you. Remind me after the podcast. But my brother has a 3D printer. Maybe he could print you up some effects for your Android 16. Um, and this is not a thing for everyone, unfortunately. We only got so much plastic. Anyways, okay. So for the
But
next
yeah, we have 15 figures on here. Go ahead,
okay.
sir.
So for the next figure on this list, this is one that's definitely been requested so long. It is the Bojack
Yeah.
version of Trunks. This is everyone's favorite Trunks right now. and even to the point where Tozen Arts it has gone and and started making their own project. And we've seen customs
Yeah.
of this Trunks in particular being made
So
with
many
the
of them.
new 3.0 Trunks, which honestly has looked really good.
Yeah.
The design of Trunks in that is just is fantastic, and I do feel like more I do think that Tamashii Nation should hop on that, but knowing them, like they've been going alongside with this order as of late, with going to Frieza Saga, like the Android Saga and everything, and then like sort of focusing in on that stuff. I feel
Well,
like
they like
that
hop
might be
around.
yeah, but sure. I feel like that would be a figure that they would probably release coinciding with like Bojack or like a Bojack version Gohan or something like that, because
Yeah, yeah.
that's a movie with unique designs. But yeah, I do agree with people. That is like my favorite design of Trunks too, with the long hair and
Yeah.
like the more
Yep,
spiky
yep.
Super Saiyan, the
And then you
jacket.
could have the removable jacket and such.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would definitely be. It's a version that people constantly ask for, and it's pretty much like the last main version of Trunks they really want. Yeah, there's the history of Trunks teenage version of him that people
Hmm.
want from the TV special, but the BoJack Unbound one is the one that collectors constantly request and really want, including myself. That's one of my most
Hmm.
wanted Dragon Ball figures. I want them to make that version of Trunks. So I am with you, other collectors.
Absolutely. All right, so
So
moving on, what's the next figure we got on this list?
the next one here is actually a version of Vegeta combined with Baby, and that's Baby Vegeta, which we just got the announcement and revealed the Dragon Stars one, which looks pretty good for like a $20-25 figure. But if you're like me, you're very particular with what you buy. And I mean, when it's a character someone really likes, they're going to buy it regardless, as we've mentioned numerous times. But there's people who just collect imports, which I'm mainly like that, but I'll buy domestic stuff here and there. But this is a version. Personally, I'm not a big fan of like the baby arc and stuff, but there are people like you, Starblast and Champ. You guys desperately want a baby Vegeta, and there's so many collectors. Like on my Instagram, when I posted about the Dragon Stars one, I got so many people adding at Tamashii Nations to make an SH Figuarts baby Vegeta. So he is a highly requested figure that collectors do want. And since they are in making GT stuff, I mean, I don't, I, I can see them making him at some
They're
point.
actually I feel like they're very close to like actually going and making that figure, because if you remember
Yeah,
they were doing this thing where they were making all of the figures that was in the Dragon Ball Fighters roster, and that plus another figure that we're going to talk about later is within that Fighters roster. So to me it's like it's only a matter of time until they actually getting around to doing that. Like even the
yeah,
Toyotaro version of Ultra Instinct Goku, that was a more accurate, like if you look at the, even though it's like the model was like different, it's like it's like the
yeah,
pose that he's in is just like how Goku, Ultra Instinct Goku, is posed in the Fighters roster.
yeah.
It's
Doesn't
similar.
that release soon?
It releases, I'm not sure, I don't remember the release date. I'm sure it releases soon though, yeah.
Yeah,
um
it does. Yeah,
but basically with that, it's only a matter of time. um till they do
yeah,
that. And I might as and you know what, since I'm on the topic, I might as well bring it up for this next figure. That's obviously going to be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I mean, we already got Super Saiyan. I mean, Baby would already go with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and now with
yeah.
Gogeta, it just makes perfect sense to have that figure release, probably with accessories of the fusion fingers, since the Figurized
Yep.
figure did that. It just
For
like
Goku and Vegeta, yes.
yeah, and it also, since the Goku and Vegeta are like regular releases, it would entice people to go ahead and want to buy those figures as well, like
You're
to kind
correct.
of
Yeah.
get them into that posing thingamabob. So
Fusion.
yeah, yeah,
Ah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
And
Getting that
then
figure.
it
That's
would
probably a lot of people's favorite version of Gogeta.
it and it's also a very highly requested version of him. Very highly requested figure for them to make in the
Gogeta in
line.
any way, shape, or form is the most requested thing in anything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it is highly requested. It's a very popular version
The
of
Gogeta
Gogeta.
merchandise
Yeah.
is just like, it gets insane. I remember when Dragon Ball Super Broly came out, they were just pumping Gogeta merch all over the place. It was
Yeah,
selling
yeah.
so well. Like
Well,
gosh.
you know what? We haven't seen Gogeta, and he technically wasn't canon until that. Super Broly movie.
But
So
well, yeah, but still, he was a bunch of people's fan favorites, like in Fusion Reborn and such. Which that's another thing,
yeah, yeah,
Fusion Reborn Gogeta will like I'm sure we'll get at some point. Like,
yeah.
uh, but what's the villain that's probably also the most requested villain on this list that
Omega
would go
Shenron,
alongside?
yeah. Omega Shenron's another one, and we did get that third party
Oh,
company one that.
I was talking about Fusion Reborn, but okay.
Oh, Fusion Reborn. So yeah, this one I feel like is probably in like the top 3 of most wanted Dragon Ball figures, and that's Janemba.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how many times I see people request this, and then when we got that tease of his tail, everybody thought it was the Figure Arts one.
Yeah, the
Then it
Figuarts
turned out.
Zero thing, that was such a tease, bro. People.
I
Oh
mean, we
my
have a
god.
Dragon Stars one, but they do not compare to like a Figure Arts level with Dragon Ball figures, you know?
Mm-mm.
It's a good fill until you get it, but still, it's just not,
The,
it doesn't feel the same.
I mean, that's the thing about Dragon Stars is that, like, they're figures made for kids. That's why a lot of the hair and such on it is just like it's very rounded out on the edges, which kind of
Yeah,
destroys the overall, like, intense look that we typically want from these figures and stuff. Like Super Saiyan 4
yeah,
Goku,
yeah.
where this was cool, it's not as intimidating or as cool looking as the Figuarts one because of those
Yeah,
rounded
you
edges.
compare it. Just
Like,
comparing them in general, it's like it's night and day. But I
yeah,
mean, they're more affordable figures, which I understand them making Dragon Ball such a popular anime manga series, and it makes sense to have a figure line that's a bit more affordable. People can't always be
Mhm.
spending like 50, $70 on a brand new figure all the time,
Man, at
so
at this point, it's like it's they do this because they don't want kids to poke their eyes out. And I'm just saying is
yeah,
that if kids are gonna poke their eyes out, they're gonna do it with something anyway, not with this.
somehow,
Just
some
let
way.
just make the hair spiky and let the kids bleed. I don't like screw them kids, man. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Nah, but yeah, Janemba is a character people want desperately in the line.
Yeah.
So if Tamashii Nations doesn't make that one of the next movie characters, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what in the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on
Now we'll
here
talk about
next.
Omega Shenron since they already know that it's on this list and such. But
Yeah,
like that's a we already have so like Dragon Stars has given us an Omega Shenron, but the articulation and such was lacking. Then there was this other
yeah,
Omega Shenron that was released by this third party company. I believe it was called AF Toys,
that
and
I almost bought.
that one I did buy. The scaling was really
And they
good.
did two, right?
They did
One
two
with the
versions, one from Heroes and such, but we're not talking about that version.
yeah,
But like that figure was good, but it was lacking, I think, in accessories, and also you couldn't move like the only other thing about the articulation that I didn't like is you couldn't move the head left and right, and I made the
yeah.
neck on mine
That's
really loose because I was trying to make the lower neck joint move, and apparently it
yeah,
wasn't meant to
yeah.
do that, so it's just like his anytime I hold the figure, his neck is just going.
Oh God, yeah.
It's
That's like the Powerful Action Heroes Luffy. His neck
God.
joint would get so loose. But yeah, it is it that he's probably like maybe besides Baby, he's another one of the fan favorites from GT as villains. So that's another GT character they can make down the line, which if they continue with the GT stuff, I'm sure they will. So it's just a matter of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and
Um,
definitely if they were to make Omega Shenron, like I think they would do a very good job with it, like all the interchangeable faces.
oh
But I
yeah, yeah,
definitely feel one thing, and I know this might be a little bit difficult, but the attack that he did, where all of like the Dragon Balls was glowing out and creating like that spear and such, that I think would like obviously you wouldn't have it like the same size
yeah, yeah,
because he made
yeah,
it big and then shrunk it down. So I think you can do it like
yeah.
when it's shrunken
Man, I
down, and
haven't
that would
watched it
work.
in so long.
Yeah,
GT.
that would work as an accessory. Absolutely, I think absolutely for
Yeah,
that
they could
figure.
do it. Same with that one Gogeta had that the Figurized one had. They can give Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that as well. So,
Oh, 100%.
uh, let's continue on here. I think that's it for GT. Those are like the most popular ones people want from GT besides Eyes and Nova. Those are other popular ones, but I don't see them requested as much. So, moving on here. This is from Dragon Ball Z. It's another form-ish version of Vegeta from the Cell Saga, and it's when he got all big, the Super Vegeta. That
Super
is
Vegeta.
another one. Yeah. That is another one I see people constantly request. I got it recently too. I was gonna say like a battle damage Vegeta since we always get the battle damage Gokus, but I think Super Vegeta is a little higher up compared to a battle damage
I
Vegeta.
remember when they were switching and such from 1.0 to 2.0. When we got that 2.0 Vegeta, it made it a lot more muscular. And for a bit of time, I was like, you know what, this is Super Vegeta. Especially because he was
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
thing. It's like the same exact pose. Like I feel like with the production, they were really trying to like pass that off as a Super Vegeta. But
yeah,
nowadays, since you see that mold being used in all the other stuff, like the 2.0 Scouter Vegeta, like
yeah.
the Namek Saga one that's about to release and such, it's definitely held this. It definitely needs it not a Super Vegeta mold anymore if it's literally being
Yeah,
used for his Super Saiyan and base form. So
and if you
definitely need
remember,
a new one.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we definitely need
Oh,
Super Vegeta. I was wrapping
yeah,
it up.
yeah. And if you remember, like when he first did it, he did get a lot more buff.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like as buff as Trunks did, but Vegeta knew not to surpass that limit because then he'd get super slow, like what happened to
Mm-hmm.
Trunks. But he did get a pretty buff in it, so I know exactly what version of Vegeta people want. So let's continue on here.
Okay, so for the next figure on this list, now obviously
Oh,
you
do the one next to Janemba.
next to Janemba. Okay, now the
Yeah,
next figure on this list, Toes and Arts has already hopped on this train with two different
that's
versions, and
right.
this figure is
Yeah.
Kid Buu. My
And that just
goodness,
shows you.
like the fact here we already got Cell, we already got Frieza, we got Saiyan
Yeah.
Saga Vegeta, and it's like this is the figure that is the main that is the villain most known from that arc, Kid
Yeah.
Buu. It kind of boggles my mind that we don't already have this figure yet. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand not having it. Like we had a Vegito already that was released a while ago from Figuarts, and that was one of the and this was in the 1.0 thing. They didn't even simultaneously release that with like the Buhan figure, which
Super.
we had
Yeah,
prototypes
yeah.
like pictures of. And I
Yeah.
know that that's a figure that they certainly have in the vault, and they're not really doing any Buu Saga stuff right now. It's just
Yeah.
like where's our Kid Buu figure, man? We already got 3.0
That's
stuff.
my
It's gonna
favorite
go.
version of
It's
Boo too.
yeah, and it's like we got Majin Vegeta, we got Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Majin Vegeta from the event exclusives and such. So why don't we have this Kid Buu now? Why don't we have
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
don't we have other stuff from the Buu saga? It's like we have
And think
almost
of all the
every
other
other version of Buu
companies.
too.
Think of all the other companies that have made a Kid Boo, and which company still hasn't, and they're
We
like the
got I
biggest
can list them
Dragon
right
Ball
now.
line.
Figuarts has made Kid Buu. Dragon Stars has
Yes.
made Kid Buu, and now that Toys and Arts is coming around and making Kid Buu, am I missing any other
I
ones?
think that's all of them. But that just goes to show you that it's a fan favorite and a character that needs to be made in a Dragon Ball line.
Mhm.
That's pretty much the main version of Boo, and that's the finale version of him as well. That's the most scary version of him, and that's his original form
I mean,
too.
honestly, I feel like whether it's Kid Buu or it's Buhan or Buikalo or Buu Tanks,
Yeah,
it's like all of the versions of Majin Buu are really like everyone will take them. Like people, like
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I'm gonna be. I think that the
It's
Buu
like
arc
all the
in general.
versions of Cell and
Yeah.
Frieza.
Well,
Same
I do think that the
scenario.
Buu arc is a little bit weaker as an arc, but Majin Buu
Yeah,
was such
yeah,
a great villain, I think, and he was one of the highlights and such through that arc. So,
yeah.
um,
I remember when he first popped out and the way he sounded, I'm like, this is who they're all scared of?
well, funny
He
enough, like I
sounded
was
so
reading, I
stupid.
remember like I was reading the manga,
Yeah.
and what happened was I spoiled myself and I read the last like volume 26 of the Dragon Ball Z manga, and
So you saw him as Kid Buu.
no, my first impression of him was actually through Buhan, and I had no idea what was going
Oh,
on.
okay.
My library, I was usually this was at a point in time where I was getting manga from the library and stocking up on that stuff, and so I was in the
Yeah.
Cell saga. So what happened was I went from the I went I went from the saga of Super Vegeta, like where Super Vegeta was about to fight Semi Perfect Cell. They ran out of books and stopped it at that point when like
Oh, okay.
they did and I didn't and so like I was trying to find it. I was couldn't. It was taking a while. Eventually, I end up like my mom goes to a Salvation Army, and they just
How
happen to
old were
have one
you?
over there. This I must have been like in one digit years. Like I don't remember how
So
long
was
ago this
this like
was.
the mid 2000s? So the
Something, yeah,
internet
probably.
wasn't as big as it was then, so you
Yeah,
couldn't really
so
just go online and search the manga,
yeah, so
It
Kid
was
Buu was
harder to
like
find it
yeah,
back then.
so Kid Buu was much more prevalent and such at that point. So all I saw was
Yeah.
Vegito beating like beating like Buhan. And so
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
but yeah, Kid Buu was terrifying.
Are we still going on with Kid Buu?
No, I'm done. I think we're done with Kid Buu. Let's go on to the next figure, especially
Okay.
the one
All
you
right.
sent a picture of to the chat.
Yeah, so the next one here, this isn't just a huge requested figure. It's a figure I've always wanted as well. And it's the Dragon Ball Z version of Broly, but with his teal hair.
Mm-hmm.
So right before he kind of went Super Saiyan, you know, that iconic pose of that Broly before he goes Super Saiyan of floating above the water, that version. That is a big fan favorite and highly requested figure that collectors want. It's still like a version of Broly we haven't gotten. Yeah, we got all the super versions, and we got like his main legendary Super Saiyan form from the Z movies. But this is still a Z version of Broly collectors desperately want in line. I remember there was a custom going around, and they
Yeah.
photoshopped it to make it look like Tamashii Nations took it,
Like
and
it was a
it
leak, like it was gonna get revealed at the event or something.
yeah, yeah, and everybody was passing it around. It fooled me at first, and then people were like, "It's a fake," and then when you look at it, you're like,
It
"Damn
was
it, it
like
is."
it was one of those things where it's just like it should have been obvious because it had 1.0 knee joints.
Yeah, yeah, that was like, but if you just looked at it, you just you don't really look into it until you really look at it, and then you're like, "Ah, man, it is a custom. It's
You know,
not." It's
that
not that.
plus like the fake variant prank with the Super Saiyan 2 with the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and such. Like that's the reason why that people didn't believe it when they saw the Kaioken Goku target thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
that
So,
was yeah, that was a thing. That
but
was a thing that
yeah,
happened. But yeah, absolutely. But I can actually I can do you one better. I feel like they could release that Broly, but with a but making it to where it's that Broly and like the base form Broly. You could just interchange the heads. I know that his
yeah,
skin
yeah.
tone
That's
and
what I
such
was
was
gonna say.
different.
Yeah,
I know his
yeah,
skin tone and such was different when he was in that like when he turned like super like he became more tan and such when he like in the but it was only it
yeah.
only looked like that because it was nighttime. So
I mean, they could give us a black hair sculpt along with that teal one because when he's just in his base form, he does look a little more skinny because
mhm.
he bulks up the more like he gets angry and starts going berserker and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
they could also
Which
give
I
us
know wouldn't be like
another
as
head sculpt.
accurate, but it's like to be honest, it's like it's one of those things that I don't think people would want to buy the base form and the Super Saiyan. It's just better to make them all in one figure at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't even know what to call this for him. Like this was before Super Saiyan Blue and everything was a thing. Yeah, that
It really
teal
was.
hair.
It was honestly just call it Super Saiyan Broly from Z because it's like I feel like
Okay.
originally they were just trying to make it unique and such, and but then it's like when
Yeah.
you see Broly and Broly's Second Coming, he doesn't have the teal hair anymore. So
Yeah, but even when he 'cause the picture that I showed you is, like, straight up teal, like, greenish, but when
well,
he
I know that,
does
but
yeah, when he
it's a
does
movie
go in
thing.
that big form, his hair does go, like, yellow. Because it's only that teal color just for a short while, and then when he goes into the bigger form, legendary
Mhm.
Super Saiyan form, then it goes yellow like Super
That's the
Saiyan.
thing I'm sure they can make into an event exclusive though. Like they can have like the one with the teal
Yeah,
version or then have the one with the Super Saiyan version and such. Whichever one they can pick,
yeah.
I'm sure people you would at least be getting
Oh,
alternate
yeah,
versions.
yeah, yeah. And then this one, he is a lot smaller, he's not all bulked up too,
Yeah.
so
All
but,
right,
yeah,
so
that's
for the
a
next figure on this list, we have an updated Perfect Cell. And the thing is about
yeah.
this cell, I remember when this figure first came out and such. Now, people originally liking it, but then over time, Figuarts even made their own version of Cell. And I remember talking to people who genuinely prefer to get the Figuarts. They ended up getting the Figuarts one and the Dragon Stars one over the Figuarts one just because of how skinny the build is and just like that mold is just like
Yeah,
super duper outdated. Like Cell should not be that
it
skinny.
is, yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
though cuz
yeah.
like the guy who originally went and bought the Figurized Cell, he ended up like I told him it's not a good idea. And he was like, "Dang, I should have listened to you," because he did not like the Figurized one at all. He
Yeah.
hated it.
It
So,
was probably overcomplicated because I felt like Frieza was kinda like that, like, the way his tail connected was horrible, it wasn't, like,
mhm.
some of them are
I need
over,
to sell
like,
that Frieza. I
engineered.
still have it. I need to
The
get
figurized one?
yeah, the
Yeah, I
Figurized
still have
one.
that one too, but I never got that one, but yeah, that one and the Dragon Stars one do have more bulk, and I believe they are taller. They do need to make them a little bit taller as well, the Figure Arts one, but that desperately does need an updated 3.0 version, which if they're continuing with what they're doing, like how we got Imperfect Cell last year,
Mhm.
I'm sure we will get the updated version probably soon if they're going to continue with the like androidish Cell Saga characters because Dr. Gero just released, so I could see it happening. It when collectors request stuff enough, I told you, they eventually do make it. So
For sure. What do we got next on our list? I'm sure this is one. Actually, this is. I'm surprised I didn't say anything about this just because I'm satisfied with the current version we have. But the one that you think that
yeah,
should be updated, well, at least fans are saying that should be updated,
yeah,
is.
people are requesting an updated Final Form Frieza, which I understand. I mean, the original one really isn't bad, as we were saying with like Android 16. It like desperately doesn't need an update, but yeah, they could add in like the new hips and stuff and kind of update a few things here and there on them, which we'll get a taste of with the Mecha Frieza, and then we'll see like with the full power Frieza, he'll have that updated articulation as well. But they've been using that Frieza body mold since like 2000, like for 10 years pretty much.
I
They've been
almost don't
using the
want them to do it
same.
though, just because the 3.0 stuff it limits articulation. So you got like they sculpt like a big ass and such on 3.0, like that it makes
Yeah.
making it to where you can't push leg backs no more.
Well, we could get a taste of how it will be with the Mecha Frieza because he's the same size. He just has partial mecha parts. Cyborg parts on him. But
Well, that's more
he'll
2.0. That is a more 2.0 style type of mold though in comparison to the 3.0 stuff. I mean, here
what
even looking at
the
like
Mecha Frieza?
yeah, but because like even they did the same thing with second form Frieza, right? You can tell this is like more so 2.0 technology that they used for this one because of how they have like the legs and such like sculpted around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's using more 2.0 engineered legs because it's just better
Okay.
fit for that version of Frieza.
Well, I mean, but still, that Frieza, the final form one, is technically a 1.0 body mold, just like Perfect Cell, because
It
they've
is a
been
one
using
point.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've been using that mold for pretty much 10 years. And I mean, I understand people wanting an update. There's not too much they could really add into it, but
I will take it, but not for the reasons that you would think. I feel like this would be an opportunity for them to give us new faceplates for Frieza because I'm
yeah,
sorry, like I want there to be a stern face for final form Frieza. There like
yeah, yeah,
we got one for his second form, his first form. Literally when you first saw Frieza in his final form, not the
yeah.
golden form,
I
he
know what
had
you're
like a
talking about.
stern
Yeah.
expression. He just looked so plain but intimidating. He was just like,
Yeah, and the ones we have
give
is
us
that smirking one, a yelling one. Do we have an angry teeth gritted one? And then
yeah,
what's the
but
other
they always
one?
have that teeth gritted one looking down, and it limits
Didn't the
posability.
didn't the original one have a stern face? Like
The
the with the rock?
no,
No?
no. So what it had, so it had one smirking face, and then it had like one eye closed face, like when he stood on the rock before he's about to kill
Oh
Krillin.
yeah, yeah. Or when Goku's about to yeah, like
Yeah, when he's
he
about to
was
turn
hurt.
Super
Yeah,
Saiyan and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that
I
is true.
want at the very
Even the
least because
reissues.
we don't need all of those accessories, I don't think, like the death beam ones or the death ball and everything, but more facial
Yeah.
expressions has been needed, and it's just such a shame because I know that we have there's the $35 Frieza that's out there with the blue shading and such on it, right? The only
The one
reason why
I
I didn't
have,
pick it up, it
yes.
was just like there's no point when you already have
Yeah,
the
there's
other
no
version. Like I didn't have
exactly, yeah.
like there's nothing new that's coming with that figure. It's just a difference in paint apps, and I feel like if
To
they would
me,
just give it new facial expressions, then there's more worth to purchase it.
yeah, to me, it's just for new people jumping into the line so you could have a Frieza in your collection.
Yeah,
Just
I know, but man, just
that's
give us
why
more
they keep
stuff.
doing all these reissues of this updated or 2.0 Super Saiyan Vegeta, the Saiyan on Earth Goku, the reissue of Piccolo, Proud Namekian. So it's just for new collectors to be able to get the main characters. That's why they keep doing it. But I mean, they can resculpt them a little bit. They could probably maybe add a little more shading to bring out the sculpt detail a little bit better. They could update the faces,
It
give
can
us a
definitely use
basic
the
stern
sort of
face.
3.0 style faces nowadays because like
Yeah, I'm wondering if they can add another point of articulation on the tail, but still make it look good.
I don't think it needs
Like,
it, to be honest. I don't think it like
yeah,
having
that's true.
interchangeable tails works good enough in my opinion.
Yeah, but all like the only ones that have the interchangeable tails is the first one, I believe, right? And then the one with the halo have it, and the
No,
Dragon
no, no, it
Ball.
had the same tails and such. Well, actually, no,
Yes.
the one with the halo did have interchangeable tails. Yes, it did.
Yeah, to strangle Vegeta. Yeah, if they did like maybe a couple different tails, that'd be fine.
But well, that's the
And I
thing about
always
the
like
tails.
the clenched toes with him too.
But that's the thing about the tails. I feel like on this one you can hide it better. It blends in better because of all of like the
Yeah.
lines that go through with it. On the newer
Same with that
Frieza,
version of Cooler, or the bigger Cooler, I mean.
yeah, like
Remember we did
I,
it last time. They had the little piece come out at the tail, then you peg it in, just like with that Frieza you have in your hand.
I'm sure it
It
can be
doesn't go
done.
out as far,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure it can be done. It just needs some finagling. I think. I don't think it needs
yeah,
it per se, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say no. I mean, if it
yeah.
works, I mean,
I
if
mean,
it works, it works.
it's not in dire need of it, but I'll definitely take an updated version of them. So, yeah, we kind of got a little carried away there. So,
Mhm.
continuing on here, I guess what do we have? Three left.
I'm
So,
honestly surprised by this one, but I mean,
oh
hey,
no,
this
we
is
have
literally
four left.
yeah, we got four left, but this next one, um, like so like a
Are
lot of
you?
people are
Which one
asking.
are you?
I
Are
know.
you looking at the?
Don't worry. Stop interrupting
Okay.
me. Okay. Okay, so for this next one, definitely Topo. Okay, Topo. Topo is a very requested
Yeah,
figure in this,
he
like
is.
apparently, and I don't really. I guess a lot of people like Topo. I guess
Yeah,
what it is that they just people want more Pride Troopers, I guess, to go alongside Jiren, and I kind of
I
get
guess
it,
so.
but I don't feel like Topo would probably sell well. He'd probably end up being a premium Bandai exclusive, most likely, just because he's
I
not one of
think
those characters that people are gonna jump on.
I think he's a lot of people's favorite character from Super. That's what I think. Personally, I don't really care for Topo at all. They loved like his God of Destruction form, was it?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what a lot of people like about him. Personally, I never really cared for him. Like, yeah, he's a strong dude, and it was cool seeing him fight Goku that first time, and then even in the tournament. But he's just not like this is personal.
I
Like personally for me, I don't even think I would buy one, but he is requested a lot, like a lot.
I can't even imagine him being as cool of a figure, I think, as other ones, because like the proportions are what's gonna throw it off. He's got big hands, he's
Yeah,
got small feet, so it's like he's
yeah.
not gonna be able to stand as well. I feel like he'd probably have like similar legs to Fat Boo, because of
Yeah,
just
or
because how he would be
Dodoria.
engineered,
Yeah, or
yeah, or
Dodoria.
Dodoria.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
Android 19. Yeah, he'd be too like chunky to give really good articulation.
yeah, I just don't think as a figure and such, you're really gonna like enjoy posing him around. Like, sure, you can get him in poses, but it's like
Yeah.
no, no, I'm not gonna be a fan. It's like 'cause there's only so much. You can't even necessarily blame Tamashi Nations and such for that type of thing. Just because when you're
Yeah,
dealing
yeah.
with a character with those sort of proportions, it's not gonna be making for a fun figure at the end of the day. Like I
Yeah,
just don't
you,
know how much they can do about it.
you got to just look at it. He'll probably turn out articulation wise like Dodoria, maybe like Fat Boo and stuff like that. But he is very highly requested. But moving on here, we have three figures left. Like we said, this isn't in any particular order or anything like that.
I think
Tavion.
two figures actually.
Remember, there's one I didn't write down.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's right. Okay.
Tapion. Tapion's another movie character people absolutely love and really want an SH Figuarts of, which I would love to get a Tapion myself. He's just such his concept design is just so awesome. He's such a cool looking Dragon Ball character, and you'd get the sword, Trunks' sword, but he has you got like that mohawk type haircut that he has as well. He's just a really cool looking character, and
He'd be well articulated too. With I'm sure if they do rubber
yeah,
robes, and then you also got the flute accessory, he would be included with. There's a lot
yeah,
of really
yeah.
good potential for a fun figure with a Tapion.
Yeah, and it's another movie character, and hopefully they give us at least one movie character, at least a year, maybe two, because there's so many they can do. So
Can you
then
imagine if like they release a Harudagon figure like that's the size of a Grade 8 Vegeta to go alongside with this thing?
oh
That would
yeah,
be
or
insane.
or they release it in halves.
They release it in halves. Oh yeah, like half of it you get with Tapion's brother, his kid, and then the other half of it,
You got
like
the legs and tail, and then the torso and head and
but
arms.
like, but that's for the other version of Harudagon before he turns into like the yellow thing. I'm talking about the big yellow version of it. I don't feel like they'll do it in. I don't feel like they'll
Yeah,
do
that
like the
yeah,
top
like
and
when he
bottom half.
was like chopped in half. That version of him? Yeah,
No,
right.
no. No. The version that I know that there's a chopped version that you're saying, oh, it's released in half. The one that I was talking about that they can make a giant version of is the yellow version. what, like where he's a beetle, or he's like a beetle or
That's
something.
when Goku killed him at the end, right?
Yeah, of course, because then you can release you have a Super Saiyan 3 Goku that can go alongside with that, and then that'll get posed along with Rudagon. It would work so well, I think.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
that's a whole
that
other figure. I'm just saying because like I know that Tamashii Nations releases figures in pairs. Like I'm sure
yeah.
King Cold is not far behind Mecha Frieza. You're obviously gonna get like the 100% Frieza to pose along with this Goku. So
Yep.
yeah, if they were to release Tapion, I'm sure they will release something like
Oh,
that
now I
alongside
know
with
what
it.
version you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
I was
main
looking it
final
up.
version of Rudagon. It's like, have you
Yeah,
forgotten that movie?
I haven't watched that one in so long, but since we're talking about, we have two more left. So since we're on movie topics, he was
Mm-hmm.
also in like filler arc. Another one that people really want is Pycon.
PyCon.
Pycon's another one, but he's not technically canon. But I mean, who cares? I mean, eh,
Neither
you
is the
guys
new
want?
version of neither is the Bardock version that we got. People still like that. Father
Yeah,
Bardock, Father
that's
Goku.
true.
Actually, I'm
Yep.
sure people would want to get a minus version of Bardock. But anyways,
And
I
he was
digress.
in Fusion Reborn as well. So if you make a
Yeah,
Janemba, I mean, you can make Janemba, Gogeta, and then you could do Pycon as well. Bam.
100%. Yeah, there you
Everybody
go.
would buy those. And even if for me, if Pycon is even a P Bandai exclusive, I'm going to buy him. All right.
For sure.
But he is a highly requested figure. I always see people say they want a
I
Pycon,
want
and I
here, but
completely agree with that.
he needs to have cloth robes. Like not the
Yeah,
heads, but
yeah, yeah. Or
the
at
rest
least
of the others.
removable.
Yeah, something like. Well, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to do. I don't because to be honest, like I'm not gonna pose him without the cool white weighted clothing because I just don't feel like he
Yeah,
looks as
yeah.
good without it.
His hat needs to be removable too. His not hat, his like his turban thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I mean, they could do that similar to how they're doing the androids right now. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
they would. I don't know if they would do cloth. That's the thing. They'd probably do some shit like what they did with Obito, which isn't bad, but they need to learn like how Gato is. Like he's
like
like
ghetto,
fully
yeah.
cloth. Yeah, but I still like with the sleeves. I'm not a fan of that shit. But nah. So the last one here is
I
I
gotta
think
do
all.
this, man. This is my most
Yeah,
requested
yeah,
figure. Future
yeah.
Gohan. Demonical Fit's hopping on it, but Demonical Fit's not reliable because here they are right now. Instead of working on their 3.0 Future Gohan, they're competing with Kong and making the Zeno Goku Black. And sure, I will still take a Zeno Goku Black. I don't think you have enough Zeno Goku Black.
Technically, he was announced before Future Gohan, right?
No, I'm sure that they actually wait. Yeah, but I
Remember we
mean,
did the video, the
that's
podcast
right.
episode?
That's
Yeah,
right, they
so
did. But then Kong was like, "All right, you know what? You're not gonna release this. We're gonna do our own thing." And
yeah,
that is exactly is what made Demonical Fit. It was like, "All right, you know what? Let's actually do this now, bro." At this
maybe
point, here's the thing, man. I don't care at this point if Demonical Fit has shown something off. The only thing that gets them moving is competition. So if they say
yeah,
bro, they could have made at this point they could have made a 3D render of like anything of like everything, and people say, oh well, they
yeah.
were already working on this before. Like no, shut up, no they weren't. They weren't
No.
gonna make like sure they made it a 3D render, but that doesn't matter.
There's
Like where's a
still
3D render of Raditz? Like where's
there's
our Raditz
so
figure, man?
many.
Where's
We should go back to
where's our
that
Kid
and see
Trunks,
which
dude?
ones
Yeah,
the original podcast we did. We should go back to that and see which ones they've made since we've done that episode. I think it's been like a year by now.
yeah. Oh, 100%, definitely.
But yeah, future Trunks. I mean, if they don't make it, Kong, make it for us, please, because who knows when we're gonna get an SH Figuarts version of him. But that is such a highly requested version of Gohan. It's probably a lot of people's maybe their second favorite version of Gohan. It's a lot of people's favorite, like top favorite versions of Gohan, that future Gohan, including myself. I mean, you could have him badass with or without the arm, the power down and Super Saiyan head, and then he has the scar as well. Like, come on, you guys. It's got to be one of the next movie characters Tamashii Nations makes. And maybe since Demonical Fit did show off their rendering or render of it, maybe Tamashii Nation's like, oh yeah, we'll make one before you guys can even make yours. So then theirs would be irrelevant, you know? So
mhm.
hopefully that can push Tamashii Nations to want to make one. Because usually when Tamashii Nation sees Demonical Fit doing stuff, they'll start making those figures. And then Demonical Fit never makes them anyway. So But when
Like,
did they
dude,
announce
the
that?
Demonical Fit 3.0 Goku that just came out, that's everyone, that's a bunch of people's favorite figure of last year.
Yeah.
So, like, if
Yeah,
that's
it's a
goes to
good
show, it's like
figure.
when they actually do their own stuff and commit to like what their promises are, they make quality, man. I actually need it.
Yeah.
I actually found okay. You know what? They have another one of these Gokus and such on Omnime because 5K toys sold out. So I'm probably gonna get snag a second one to do
Yeah, they sold out
head
pretty
swaps
quick
with.
too.
Yeah,
Because
no
they were making
kidding.
rounds. Everybody was saying how good of a figure it is, which it is. It
That's
to
like
me, I
well,
think,
what's like what we've been saying, bro. If Demonical Fit actually makes these figures that no one else is doing, then they'll succeed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and that's what we've been saying. Focus on the shit you guys are saying you're gonna make. Like they finally got around to that Xenogoku Black, and how awesome does that
but they
look?
only got around to that
I
Xenogoku
pre-ordered
Black
it.
because Beast Deities was hopping on the Xenogoku Black. So we're like, oh shit, we probably should actually go and fulfill this other old promise that we
Yeah,
didn't actually go through last time. So,
yeah. There's so
like,
many of them that they like you said didn't fulfill, and they're even losing companies selling their products like Toy Arena and stuff
mhm.
because of that specific reason. So hopefully they do get around to that future Gohan because
Like they
if
only made
it's
this
anything like
they only made this because DL Customs was doing their thing. Like again, it's like okay, sure, you can say yeah, with well
yeah,
they've shown this up before, so they were gonna release it. Like, dude, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. As soon
yeah,
as some
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
company has like a whiff, I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do this. Demonical figure. What bam? You know what? Here's that figure that so we can beat you to it and such. Because
I
God,
mean, if they do the future Gohan, and if it's anything like that 3.0 Goku, that's going to be such a good figure, though. It's going to be
100%.
such a good figure. Plus, you'll be able to remove the arm and shit, and you can replace it with like the tied off sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to make it.
Give us
If
future
they don't
Gohan,
make it,
man. All the
but
accessories
yeah,
too. I'm not as much of
yeah,
a guy for like who I want blast effects. I want all the facial expressions I can get because I love that versatility. So we're getting all
yeah.
of that same exact face place that you get with the base form Future Gohan and the Super Saiyan Future Gohan, and you're not missing out on
Yeah.
anything. I love that. I'm
Was
very
the
happy about
Demonical
that.
Fit one has the Super Saiyan head sculpt, right?
It has a Super Saiyan head sculpt and the base form head sculpt
Okay, good.
with
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the same interchangeable faces, like I said.
Yeah,
Um,
knowing SH Figuarts, if they did make one, I feel like they'd do one separate Super Saiyan and then other base form.
Absolutely. Um,
I mean, sometimes they give us both head sculpts, but then you don't get as many faces, which kind of sucks. But yeah, these are, as of right now, these are the most requested SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures that I see commented, not just on my channel, on other channels, all over to my Nation's Instagram and stuff. These are characters I always see people request. But let me tell you, I've never seen a figure requested this much, even more than when people were requesting a Bardock. Toji. I've never seen a character requested so much to be made
mhm.
into a figure. It's insane.
Which figure
It
is
is
Toji
so.
again? Like, who's Toji again?
Jujutsu Kaisen. Toji.
Why can't I?
Where from the
Who?
flashback, the bad guy from the flashback.
Yeah. Megumi's dad. Okay, yes, no, 100%. Yeah, give us Toji. What are you doing?
People
No, you're
you
absolutely
don't
right.
know how many like comments I see of that. It's almost like every other comment. No matter what the post is either on their
Actually,
Instagram,
the
it's
the
always
very
on there.
actually here's the it's funny you mentioned Toji because I was reading through comments. We got to end off this podcast reading a comment. So the very first
Yeah.
comment that was left on the previous episode of the podcast was by this guy named Johnny Bryan Post Allegor, and his comment was, "If they don't give me future Gohan and Toji, I really will be mad." Thank you so much for your
There it
comment
is.
and all the other people
It's
commenting and such
nice.
on the episodes.
We
And yeah,
agree with that comment though. Those are two
100%.
figures they have to
I
make
can't.
this
I
year.
I can't believe I forgot Hitoji's name, bro. It's like I'm forgetting too many
Yeah.
names, man.
There's
That's what
just so
happens.
much. Yeah, but it's hopefully we have a good year of stuff we've been wanting for a while. That's why I'm making these videos, because there's so many different characters we haven't gotten yet in specific lines. And Dragon Ball has always been like one of the biggest SH figure arts, not just SH figure arts, but figure lines in general in like the past 10 years. So there's
Mhm.
still a lot they have to make, and there's still a bunch we didn't even name, but these were the most wanted and requested that I've gathered up from looking on social media and such. So why
For
don't you
sure.
send us off there, Starblast?
All right, guys. Let us know what your most requested figures are. Probably just gonna be similar
In the
comments and such to the
comments.
previous episode. Just let us know down in
Yeah.
the comment section. But I mean, where else are we gonna do it? Instagram? No. Actually, put it in the comment section. Let's get a conversation started in there. Anyways, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you also like send your best wishes over to Champ. Make sure he gets well soon. And with that being said, we do hope you guys did enjoy the podcast episode, and we will see you guys in the comment section whenever you comment on there. Take care, guys. Till then, Kakashi.
Thanks for listening to our podcast episode.
If you're on YouTube and have watched the video,
then thank you for watching as well. We are your hosts,
Starblast Studios,
Champ Animation,
and me, Daredevil 19.
And if you enjoyed our episode on Spotify, be sure to give us a follow and rating.
You can also leave us a comment on Spotify in the Q&A.
And we do thank you if you do. And if you did watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it, and a subscribe-a-roo if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast.